Man, there's nothing more exciting than catching one on a buzz bait. You know, this wind's picked up, you know, we got a little bit, throwing a frog, and you know, we got a little bit, just a little bit of chop, you know, going through the water. You know, kind of got a little too much for that frog. I tied on that buzz bait by War Eagle, designed with a horny toad. It's got 2 keepers, and I've already caught 5 or 6 fish on this buzz bait, and you can see the horny toad hadn't even moved. There's one right there, bit right at the boat. It got a little bit too much chop on the water for a frog, and usually a lot of times they can kind of find this buzz bait a little better with these conditions. You know, it kind of makes a little more commotion. As you can see, the chop that's on the water, they can kind of find it better than they can that frog. It was starting to push and move my frog a little too much. Just kind of change baits to match the condition. Golly. Man, that one there got it. That's exciting when you catch him on a buzz bait like that. I mean, look at him. And he ate that War Eagle buzz bait. I'll flip him in the boat. But man, look at that bass. Just crushed that buzz bait. You see where I got him? You know, on a buzz bait's a great bait to throw any time of year, especially around the spawn. Look at it, get to the edge of that grass. Man, and I mean, that is fun right there when they blow up on a buzz bait like that. Get in the boat. And look at that fish there. Now he doesn't look, now he's real, you can see how red his belly is. Now that fish is still pretty fat. It's probably just now starting to spawn, but they are really, really eating that buzz bait good right now. He finally got my horny toad. Look how fat he is. Just probably getting up there and starting to make a bed. And he didn't like that buzz bait coming over his head. I'm gonna change up here. Got a Zoom horny toad, and I've got a VMC trailer hook, about a 2/0, 3/0 trailer, VMC trailer hook on the back. It's always very important whenever you're fishing a buzz bait, because a lot of times you'll catch those fish on it, and especially right now around the spawn, you know, they'll kind of come up like that one there, just kind of come up and nipped at it. But he actually got the main hook. But I've caught a few this morning that, you know, I've actually caught on the trailer hook itself and not the main hook. So you get a lot of, you know, buzz bait. Sometimes it's always good to throw a trailer. Oh, there's one right there. Now I watched him come out from underneath the boat and eat that buzz bait right there at the boat. Now he actually, as you can see, he got both hooks. He got the trailer hook and the main hook. You can see though, that those keepers work real well. Hold that horny toad on there, and all these buzz baits come with a Zoom horny toad in the package already rigged. Real easy to fish. You know, I'm fishing it on a 8-to-1 Super Duty lose reel using a higher speed retrieve, and this thing planes real fast. I mean, just as soon as you engage the reel, it's on the surface, but it makes it really easy on me just reeling. I don't have to reel near as fast, you know, whenever I'm working the buzz bait. And I've got this paired on 65-pound Suffolk's line, or braided line, excuse me, and I've got a 7'2" lose Magnum Bass rod too. As you can see, this rod's got quite a bit of fast tip to it, which that does 2 things. That kind of, number 1, helps me cast the bait, but with this braided line has very low stretch, so the tip of the rod gives me a little flexibility, a little give, so I don't pull the bait away from those fish, because, you know, braided line doesn't have much stretch. So a lot of times, you know, when you see the fish come up on the bait, a lot of times, you know, your tendency is to jerk or to pull as soon as you see the water fly, but a lot of times you need to wait for the rod to load up and feel the pressure of that fish before you pull back. You'll catch a lot more fish. It's hard to do, but a lot of times that's a secret with a buzz bait, or really any topwater bait. Just whenever you're reeling and that fish blows up, just continue to reel until you feel the rod load and then pull into it. Now I've caught a few today that I've actually pulled it away from. I've jerked on the boil instead of waiting to feel the weight of the fish. Like that right there. Now right there, I seen that fish come up. And bite the buzz bait. And as you can see, that one right there, look what, you know, see, I've got him on the outside of the mouth, and I've got him on that VMC trailer hook. But I kind of followed my own advice right there, and I seen that fish come up and boil. He just rolled all around that buzz bait, And I waited until I felt the weight of that fish, which that's very, very important, but hard to do sometimes, especially if it's a great big fish. Now right there's a nice bass on that War Eagle buzzbait. You can see right there, got him right in the roof of the mouth. He wasn't coming off. Got the trailer hook on there, VMC trailer hook. And look at that bass there. Now you see that fish looks like it's starting to spawn. It's starting to get a little sore there on the tail. And man, a buzzbait catches some really nice fish around the time of the spawn. That's a nice one. A lot of times, especially you get a little wind, you know, we got, you know, a partly sunny day, we got a pretty good chop. That's when a buzzbait's good. Moves a lot of water, a lot of commotion. We're right now, the early part of the spawn. Fish are starting to spawn. There's actually fish on the bed. Some are, you know, looks like there's still a lot of pre-spawn fish. So a buzzbait creates a lot of disturbance on the surface, and you can see we got a pretty good chop, and that's always when I think a buzzbait's good. Oh, look at there. Did you see that fish come under it and track it? You know, right there, I did the same thing. He spit something up, I believe. But I watched that fish come out, and as you can see, he's got the main hook right in the top of his head. Kind of the trailer hook come around, kind of pinned him on the side. But I watched that fish come up, and I was smart enough to keep reeling and not jerk as soon as I seen the fish, which, like I said, usually a lot of times with buzzbait, you're better off to look the other direction. A lot of times this buzzbait, it draws those fish and they'll come up and they'll track it. They may follow it, you know, sometimes like those, their last couple have followed it partially to the boat before they've decided to bite it. You know, a lot of times when you get around the spawn and even going into post-spawn, you know, you get a lot of bass that start to guard fry, and they get up and the fry will get up around little bushes and rocks and boat docks and grass and different things. That's when a buzzbait really shines, is in that post-spawn time when those fish are guarding fry, because they're very territorial. They don't, you know, that buzzbait comes through there and they think it's something trying to eat their fry. So that's, a lot of times a post-spawn is when a buzzbait really shines. And I think that's one thing. Oh, there was one right there just came out under. I seen one behind it right there. That's one thing, you know, I think as you get into the post-spawn, a buzzbait gets better and better, especially as those fish get more protective and territorial. They don't like that aggravation, anything. You know, a lot of times those fry will be up near the surface, and so is that buzzbait, and that fish will run out there, and he won't let it get near wherever his fry is. He'll come out there and he'll attack it.